What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit a million orders stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Hashtag no music, no intro. Another episode. Hashtag Saints Twitter. Reviewing, going over, recapping the bloodbath that was the Saints win against the San Francisco 49ers. I'm just going to go off the bat. I apologize if our energy is a little low. By the time I finally got home from San Diego, right, I send Ryan text. I was like, yo, just got home. Let me get settled in. Let me, unwind just a little bit. By the time of me taking a shit and unpacking, this man is already knocked out.
Out. Nigga, I was out.
I was waiting for
like that 50 Cent pick. I just was man.
And then afterwards, I'm like, all right. I just like, you know what, this man's asleep. Like, I just knew it. So I was like, well, you know what? We'll record tomorrow. We'll knock this out tomorrow. I'm in bed. I'm drifting off. Guess who wakes up? So now here we are, both tired, but because we love what we do, we love doing this pod, we're gonna knock this recap out. Man, there's so many things we could start. But even before we even talk about the game, like, let's talk about the fucking news that came out this morning. I woke up as per usual, 3 a.m. ish Pacific Standard Time, as I usually do before going back to bed. Look at my phone real quick. Adam Schefter tweets, boom. Saints getting fined, draft picks, it hurts my head, Ryan. It hurts my head, man.
Man, I looked at that shit and I turned my phone right off, man. Like, man, what the hell? It's like especially every Sunday, there's always something, bro. Like
something, bro.
What the hell did happen now?
It never fails. Literally never fails. And the ironic part about it is all the Saints aren't the only team who has turned up after a win. Saints Twitter went on a rampage today to let the NFL and Roger Goodell know that. But it's just frustrating.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Because there's nothing we can do to change it. Let's get into this game, man. We talked about it on the podcast and preview pod that this game went pretty much according to script, except why is it that every time the Saints play the 49ers, everybody get hurt.
Oh.
Everybody. Like Drew, we don't even know how hurt he is, Ryan. Like we don't know how bad it is.
We really do not, man. And I mean, Drew, Jameis Winston's playing half this game, bro. Like, how crazy is that?
and his play reminded me of the game that Tua played in his first start, where I think Sean Payton called a lot of things to the score.
Yeah, absolutely. I think ultimately, I think they just ran what was already, what was already planned, and it was what it was. But I mean, we'll talk about Jameis.
But the big, so Drew, that hit, which I can say as a Saints fan, it wasn't rough for the quarterback. Like, it just wasn't.
No.
But
I'll take it. But
Oh, I'll take it. Oh, my girl was hot. Hot, bruh. But I could tell as soon as he got hit.
Oh, man. Like, the way he walked off, it looked like me in the morning when I wake up. Just like, ooh, everything hurt. And just like, oh. Ooh. I was like, ooh, Drew not looking right at all.
I was surprised that he continued that drive, honestly.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I really was.
So he finishes the drive, fumble, Ruski type play, accident, ends up getting a touchdown. They go up 10-17 at halftime. Saints get the ball to start the third quarter, second half. Drew ain't out there. It's Jameis. And, big picture, the Saints are 7-2. I believe they still probably are the number one seed in the NFC as of right now. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I would think they would have with Green Bay since Green Bay Packers beat them, but whatever.
Tampa Bay beat Green Bay.
That's right. And we don't know what the future holds. Like, is that touchdown that Drew threw maybe the last throw he'll ever throw as a Saint? Like, bruh, like, come on.
I mean, it's been a realm of possibility. It's not like, oh, that's crazy talk. No, it's like if you looked at his presser, like, I've never seen him that dejected and just uncomfortable, and he just was like, just like disgusted. And that just could just be the pain, you know what I'm saying, or whatever he's dealing with, and just, his aggravation with not playing, so, you can't read too much in it, but shit, I mean, look, I'm a Saints fan. I'm going to read all into it, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't look good. And we don't know. Like, they said rib on the during the game, but we don't know if that's it. He said that. I don't know. I don't know, bro.
I
don't know.
It has to be this year.
And here's the thing, unless, it's something that's leaked through like Adam Schefter or whatever, you probably won't know this week.
Yes.
Like, we just know, if it's like, unless it's like a huge thing where he's going to be out. Here's the thing, if he's going to miss multiple weeks, we're going to find out. Like, the media, the big media is going to find out. But if it's like one of those things that, you could probably play fast and loose, I mean, he's just going to be on an injury report and game time decisions, and we just won't know. You know what I'm saying?
No, we won't know. And they play a Falcons team who have been feisty lately.
Coming off a bye too.
Coming off a bye, they're getting healthier. Like, it's all bad. So this was a game that reminded me, not in all phases, but it's insane how as soon as Drew goes out, and the defense pretty much for the most part played great, but like it was like the Teddy Bridgewater Saints defense all over again.
All over again, bro. Like, let's fight for every blade of grass.
I don't get it, Ryan. I really don't.
Oh, Drew out? Let's turn it up.
Turn up, nigga. One of the notes I wrote was I put 2-2, and I put this like second. This was like the second play of the game.
Yeah.
2-2 is a stud. That's what it read. And I just kept adding exclamation points all throughout the game. All throughout the game.
He was out of his mind today. I don't know what pill he popped or whatever, but he was like he was out his mind, man. Like,
and it looks like the injury he sustained. I mean, I can't go by Instagram, but it looked like he was doing pretty good in the post game celebration. It looked like it. Like when I first saw, it, I was like, oh shit, he may have tore his bicep. But the way he kind of walked off, and we're not doctors or anything like that, it could have just been a stinger, but we don't know. But
it could be a stinger. Yeah, it could be a stinger. We'll see.
But
he was back out there afterwards. So
his play, I mean,
what blew my mind is they never could correct for those corner blitzes.
And I don't know if I don't know if that. I think that DA must have saw something on film.
Yeah.
And they just exploited it. And you would think with how brilliant Kyle Shanahan is, because like that first quarter, he was in his bag, bro. Like he called the game perfectly as he needed to call it. But like, they just didn't have any answers for that adjustment. Like there was no adjustment.
There was no adjustment, man. Like he was living in the backfield, just, whew, I mean, he was just bringing it, bro. And not just on, sacks, but, snuffing out runs. I mean, I think the 49ers ran 25 times for like 49 yards.
What's insane is what he does as a player is that he will, how do I word this? He doesn't care. Like on run plays, he will be like, he went against Mitch McGlinchey, the 49ers right tackle, on a run play where he, like, I was like, yo.
I mean, this is a corner. I mean, well, safety. This is a defensive back. And he just came in and pow. I love it. That's my type of players, man. I love it.
It just, oh my goodness. And the Saints they have something special in him. And he's what the defense needs. It brings attitude. Demario Davis had an outstanding game.
Oh, yeah. If it wasn't for CD Deuce, like, this would be the demo game because
outstanding game.
Oh, man, he was excellent. I don't know how much of that was, because we saw Quan Alexander on the field a lot. I don't know how much of that was because of him or it was just, the game plan that they had. But, like, he was getting in the backfield, like, unblocked. Or when he was blocked, he was blowing old linemen up. I mean, he was blowing up running backs trying to fit in for blocks. I mean, he just couldn't be stopped.
You brought up Quan playing. I think, he had some good snaps, looked comfortable out there, what have you. Like what I saw from him. And we called it, man. Like, when Sean Payton says a player's going to come in to compete,
yeah.
Alexander Maloney didn't get much play at all today, bro.
I saw him on special teams. That was about it.
That's pretty much it.
I was like, damn, they just turned the page quick, huh?
Like that, bro. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, like, I think he's had some decent run here. Like, obviously, I think the writing's on the wall in terms of, him being a contract here, him not being brought back. But they had to like what they saw in Quan. They had to. And something that also stuck out to me defensively, two things I wrote. Malcolm Jenkins, excuse me. And it's one of the first note I wrote of the game when the Saints were first on defense, and then he had interception later. Malcolm Jenkins is more settled in on the defense. Like they've carved out a role for him. I think Dennis Allen is knowing how to use him, where to use him, all that. And you're just seeing him kind of flourish and having a much better play in this defense than we saw to start the season.
Yeah. And I think, us as fans, we just have to kind of understand that because him coming in, we were just like, oh, he's played with the Saints. Da knows him. We're just gonna we're gonna do with him exactly what Philly did, and he's gonna fit right in and be that veteran presence. No, it just doesn't work like that. He's not doing exactly what they did in Philly, playing different positions. He's doing a lot of different things, and just like any coach, they have to figure out like this isn't 25-year-old Malcolm Jenkins. This is 31-year-old Malcolm Jenkins. They have to figure out what works for him. Where does he actually fit? So, and you're starting to see him settle in much more, and I mean, he picking balls off and stuff like that. I mean, that's really what he's doing. What we wanted, from him, pretty much at this point.
100%. Another note I wrote is, and I mean, he kind of gonna get astray. I shouldn't do him like this, but I wrote that David Onyemata, just as a player, is better than Sheldon Rankins. I wrote it because just his play consistently between the two has been fantastic. Had another great game. He's becoming a force inside, man.
Yes,
and
man.
we were like, we didn't think we were going to be able to bring him back, with the contract and all that. And they brought him back, and they are reaping the benefits of that.
Yeah. And I was so glad when they brought him back because it was for exactly that reason. I mean, you're talking about a guy,
homegrown.
Homegrown, from Nigeria. Is he from Nigeria?
I believe so.
Played in a small school in Kansas. So you basically getting a player that don't know football. And you building them just this raw piece of clay, and you building them. I'm like, man, investing that. We talked about investing in stuff, and I know if you should give up on it or not. I just felt like you've seen kind of enough where you invested in it, where you feel like, okay, you should see some return for it. You know what I'm saying? So don't give up.
Absolutely.
And he's showing that, man. Like he's a force player. Like really, the whole D line, man. The D line was just disruptive,
And we get it. The 49ers, banged up, what have you.
Banged up.
But you still have to be a fan of what we saw. Let's get back to the Drew hit, because what I wrote was, what did I write? I wrote Ruiz, yuck.
I mean, it just reminded. I just had flashes of the Pete play from last year.
Yep.
It's the Rams.
Yep. 100%.
That's what flashed in my head. It was just like, wow, like here we are again, and just the irony of it. You know what I'm saying? Like your first round pick. You know what I'm saying?
And it's funny too because I felt like this game felt a lot like that Rams game, except the Saints were able to sneak out a win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and but it was unfortunate because they started the game with Eason.
Yep.
But then Pete got hurt. Pete, of course, take his little break.
Intermission.
So they move Eason over there, and then they bring in Brees, and this is what happens. He gets Brees killed.
Bruh.
Possibly ending his
career. Could you imagine? I mean, we're going to harp on him a little bit because that's what we do on this podcast. But just think about that, like as a player, that you may have on your ledger the play that ended the career of a first ballot Hall of Famer and the quarterback that potentially has a shot to take your team to the Super Bowl and win this season. Oh, my God.
So hopefully it doesn't turn out like that. Hopefully, Ruiz looks at that tape and be like, okay, I got to get my shit together. And Drew Brees comes back in a week or two or whatever. But, man.
Speaking of the draft class, we did see Zach Bond sighting.
What?
Special teams had a great
making that hit.
Yeah, he did. Got the defense amped. and then we didn't see much of Zach
See him no more. That was it.
This nigga, the new Brandon Coleman. Brandon Coleman on defense, nigga.
One hit, I'm out. See y'all later. Y'all have a good night. God bless. Like Russell Simmons.
Hit you with the Russell Simmons. Something that also stuck out to me is the depth of this team. So in this game, we already talked about it. You know, Chauncey gets hurt. Looks like he's okay. Marshawn Lattimore also got hurt, but on the side, he was back on the sideline. He was in the locker room. He appeared to be okay. But the depth of the secondary, and I get it. They're playing the 49ers, who were depleted and are on their last, the last of what they have. But for the Saints to be able to put P-Rob, and we've been on P-Rob's ass before, and he comes up with a great interception. He doesn't bite on the starter and go, and just makes a great play.
Beautiful.
I think it shows the depth when this team is playing well, and specifically the defense is playing well. You see the depth of this team and the talent that they possess, that they have.
I mean, I'm not sure if Lattimore makes that play. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Man.
That was a great play. I mean, just the way he played it, no PI, he just didn't panic. It was like, man, look at P-Rob. And it's just like the Lions game. I love seeing it, bro. I love seeing it. But yeah, the depth, I mean, just look at it. I mean, you got P-Rob, he coming in. I mean, you got Quan Alexander starting, but you got Alexander on it right there if he needs to come in. So you don't have the whole C-Rob situation.
Oh boy.
You got thinking Malcolm Brown. I think he left this game.
Oh, he did. He was questionable with the quad, some injury.
But then you got Shy Tuttle. He come right in. He was making plays. Malcolm Roach. I mean, the depth getting tested now, but it's good that you have the depth.
Yes.
To test. You know what I'm saying?
And on top of that, they're being productive with the depth. They're making plays now. Like you said, they're being tested. So hopefully, you don't gotta go too far, down the depth chart. But it just shows how deep the team is. Getting back to real quick for players that were like, ugh. Thomas Morstead has had an awful year.
Yeah, he's been bad.
Awful.
His worst year. His worst year easily.
Easily. And I mean, I think this is probably his last year with the team. You kind of were saying you wouldn't have been surprised if he was a surprise cut, and I know Saints Twitter was on your ass, bro.
Like, at my neck. Are you out of here, man? like, hey, I'm not the one carrying two punters here.
Yeah, they did not like that at all. But that said, like you're seeing it. You're seeing it unfold in front of you. Shout out to AK being a beast, being who he is.
Steady every week,
bro. Just consistent.
Murray too, man. Like I want to say give Murray the ball more, but then it takes away from AK. But it's like, damn, bro. Like every time Murray get the ball, man, that man is like doing the damn thing, bro.
Every time, bro. Every time. Anything else from the game that stood out to you?
I mean, I guess we could hop on on just some of the mistakes. He kind of had the muff punt. Yeah, 2 muff punts by Dante Harris.
And if it wasn't for the muffin that San Francisco was doing, I don't
shout out to Johnny on the spot, Callaway, man. He was just like right there. And Sean Payton talked about how both gunners on both teams affected those situations. Because if you watched them, they were like right there. And I know it's kind of hard for us to understand, but like if you're trying to fair catch and a dude like running up right on you, it just there's just kind of, it just throws you off a little bit. Like, just imagine you trying to catch something and a dude just running up on you full speed. You know what I'm saying? Even if you know he's not supposed to hit you, it's just like, ugh.
Oh, it's like they shooting. Oh, made you look, nigga. Nope. Not quite.
So Callaway was great at that. Callaway, he was getting downfield so fast, man. So that was dude. Just so even when you look at special teams, I think Hardy was out.
He was.
So for Callaway and those guys to come in and play like they played, man, that was huge. I guess we can talk a little bit about Jameis. Here's my thing with Jameis. Look, you can't. I'm not going to overanalyze him for just a few snaps. He didn't really play a lot. Him and Taysom, they split a lot of snaps. He probably, Jameis probably.
For us fans, to have him. This is, I believe they said this is the Saints' 6th win in a row, which is like the third year they've done that. Like,
that's crazy,
bruh. What?
That's crazy.
And that's including Drew missing 5 games last season. Come on, man.
That's crazy. Insane.
But we wanted to get this up. We got the episode up, even though we're both tired. As always, thanks for everyone's for support, listening to us. As I tweeted, we finally do have the designs for the masks. Shout out to Nola Hat Plug. We're going to get those up in a poll. There's 4 options, 4 styles that we're going to have you guys vote on. I think we'll probably leave it open until Friday. So hopefully everyone has enough time to vote. And then after that, that'll be our official mask. And then we'll, once they're made and what have you, we'll start working on getting them all out and all that. So thanks for everyone who listens to us, to support us. We greatly appreciate it. With that, we're out.
Peace.
O'Reilly. You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly.